These Movies back for another video, and today is another Matt's movie review. The film I'm going to be talking about today is called Last Seen Alive. So this is a 2022 film starring Gerard Butler, and I had an opportunity to watch this, so I thought I'd do a review of my thoughts on the film. If you're new to the channel, welcome. Please consider subscribing by hitting the subscribe button down below and hit the notification bell so you'll be informed when I upload a new video. Welcome back to existing subscribers. Hope you're all doing well and keeping safe. So yeah, I hope you sort of like these reviews that I do, giving my thoughts on the films. So yeah, we're going to get into the film today and tell you my thoughts on it. Last Seen Alive came out in 2022. And in the UK it was rated as a 15 certificate. It ran for 1 hour and 36 minutes. After Will Spann's wife suddenly vanishes at a gas station, his desperate search to find her leads him down a dark path that forces him to run from authorities and take the law into his own hands. The release date in the US was the 2nd of June 2022, and this was directed by Brian Goodman. Cast included Gerard Butler as Will Spann, Jamie Alexander as Lisa Spann, Russell Hornsby as Detective Patterson, Ethan Embry as Knuckles, Michael Irby as Oscar, Cindy Hogan as Anna Adams, Bruce Altman as Barry Adams, Jordan Salom as Peter, Danny Diniti as Sergeant Anderson, and Chip Lane as Assistant Deputy. And my thoughts on this film. Okay, so it stars, the main two stars in this film are Gerard Butler, who plays the character of Will Spann, and his wife, played by Jamie Alexander, as Lisa Spann. Obviously, Gerard Butler being in many films. He was obviously in 300. He's been in a lot of disaster films, Geostorm. Yeah, quite a few films. I can't think of them all off the top of my head, but yeah, very famous actor. And he's playing his wife, Jamie Alexander, and she's probably most famous for playing the role of Sif in the Thor films, the MCU Thor films. Everybody else in it, to be honest, are lesser known actors that I haven't sort of recognised before. So the story actually starts with kind of something that's seen later in the film. You see a man in the back of a car, and there's a cop basically sort of interrogating him. And it kind of starts at this point, so you have no idea what's going on. And then it cuts to Gerard Butler and his wife driving along. Basically, he's taking her to his his parents, and they're very close to where they live, or where his parents live. And then he discovers that he's kind of running low on petrol. So he says, I'm going to have to pull into a petrol station, which he does. He starts to fill up with gas or petrol, and she goes into the petrol station to go to the toilet and get a bottle of water or whatever she's doing. Anyway, while he's filling up with petrol, she comes out of the gas station. He kind of doesn't see her, but she's kind of stopped by somebody, and she walks over to this guy's car, and then you see a van or big truck go past. It blocks his view, Gerard Butler's view, Will Spann's view, and then when the truck goes past, you don't see the car or his wife or this other guy anymore. He then goes into the petrol station to find his wife and obviously to pay for the fuel. to which that he can't find her at all. He searches the toilets, he searches all around the petrol station, he's asking the attendant, he's asking people in the petrol station, you know, have you seen my wife? And it's just like she's vanished, just completely, you know, off the face of the earth. So he's starting to get quite sort of concerned, and you can see tension is building. He's getting more and more agitated as time goes on. The film is also time stamped, so you can see sort of over the period of a day, you know, when these things are happening. You know, so it's not a drawn out film over days or months or anything like that. So it is quite contained within one day. He obviously gets the police involved. He contacts the police, and they set out a search sort of party to try and find her. And he's kind of taken in for questioning, all this kind of thing. And you know, he's getting more and more agitated, but the cop does seem to be kind of on his side, even though he's still sort of very suspicious of what's going on. He's prepared to work and try and find, you know, his wife. Will Spann also manages to find some CCTV footage from the petrol station where the attendant basically denies that, you know, it's working, but it actually turns out that the camera is recording. Will Spann is kind of, he knows about these video cameras. He's into real estate, so he knows all this kind of stuff. And so he takes the footage to the police station, and you see exactly what basically was shown on the film. She's kind of drawn away from the petrol station and obviously gets into this guy's car. We then identify later in the film is kind of an old sort of friend of the family, and he does a lot of maintenance, you know, sort of for the family. And without sort of going into sort of spoiler territory, it kind of is really the story of Will Spann trying to find his wife. And obviously as the film goes on, more and more he's getting concerned, and events sort of unfold, and you know, this becomes sort of quite an action fest, on the run kind of film, with a lot of a lot of action and dialogue ensues. Now, did I like this film? Yes, I did. I thought it was a very good good film, about an hour and a half long. Didn't sort of overstay its welcome. It did very much remind me of a film called Breakdown, from the sort of 90s, I guess, or late 90s, starring Kurt Russell. A similar sort of storyline to this, where Kurt Russell breaks down, his car breaks down, and goes to get help from a garage, and basically his wife goes missing. So in a kind of way, it's almost like a remake, kind of, with a bit of a twist, different different angle to it, I suppose, but it very much reminded me of that film. But no, I quite enjoyed this. Thought Gerard Butler was very good in the role. He's certainly getting older. He's starting to age, I've noticed. But he was very, very sort of good in the role. You could see his like real concern. He was trying to find his wife. There's a lot of flashbacks going on. He's got, marriage problems and this kind of thing, but it's done very well, and you get to meet her parents, and there's kind of a little bit of tension there, but there's good character development between him and the cop, and then eventually sort of other characters within the film that turn up later on. So would I recommend this film? Yeah, absolutely. It's a good all-round thriller, and definitely worth checking out sort of on streaming. I don't know whether it's going to be getting a physical release at some point, But yeah, I'd highly recommend picking this film up if you enjoy this kind of genre. So guys, that was just a quick sort of review of the film Last Seen Alive. I'd say an entertaining film, good for an hour and a half. You know, I enjoyed it. So yeah, if you get an opportunity to watch it, I'd highly recommend it. Give it a thumbs up, definitely. Anyway, thanks very much for watching the video, guys. Take care and see you in the next one. Bye now.